was on at this time, and you can still play today, and it's still relevant. You know what I mean? You can't play a lot of hip hop today and play like even 2 years down the road and say this is relevant music because it's more in the moment. And these people were able. We say
next month.
Well, yeah, for sure. I was trying to be conservative about it, but yeah, you can even go that far. But I mean, they were able to make stuff in the moment, but still 10 years down the road, still play the same. Like, you know, it's like fire and wine. You know what I mean? To be able to appreciate the artistry there and to know that they were pouring their heart into it. Right. You know what I mean? That, as far as crafting. But it's funny you mentioned Cash Money because, you know, I didn't know who the fuck Cash Money was. But I remember when I heard Juvenile High, and I'm like, you know, they ain't spitting nothing. But this was lingo that we used in the house. Like, what you doing, High? You know, I was using that stuff. I had family members down south, so
Lorenzo was the first dude with 400 degrees Juvenile. Armand.
I ain't even fraud though. That was my joint.
And then Jay-Z.
You got the box on buy it. Yeah, that was my joint. I can't front on that though.
And then Jay-Z got on the remix. It was over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was over.
I remember I even played that. I played that track to my English teacher. It was Mr. Kleber. You know, yeah, that was my boy, man. Like he was He was supposed to be a temporary teacher because our teacher was on maternity leave, and he was so nice with it. They just offered him a full-time position. And, you know, he was just real young. You know, he was like, maybe like 25, 26 in 9th grade. That's when Amir and, what is it, Aisha? All right, what's the sister that flunked like 5?
Aisha?
Yes. They were in the same English class together. That was a very sad moment. I felt bad for her. But I remember we had a poetry unit. And, you know, and he wanted to keep us engaged. So he brought up... Yeah, we had poetry unit in Cleveland class, so he always tried to keep us engaged. So one of the things he knew, we would listen to a lot of hip hop and everything. So I bought the 400 Degrees record at the time, and I played it for him before class started. He's like, and I played high. He's like, "Yo, what is this?" And he started getting. He was rapping along. He came up with his little version of it. So I mean, Cash Money. I mean, for better or for worse, did usher in a different sound. At the time, I mean, if you look at what Manny Fresh was able to do on the production level, you know, with the 808s and everything. You know, I mean, Juvenile was on fire that year. I mean, definitely was on fire that year. I mean, you got Lil Wayne, however you want to feel about Lil Wayne, but I mean, he ushered in all of that we have today, and especially with Cash Money, with Southern rap music as it came out. I mean, you still had your 3-6 Mafia, you still had UGK, but as far as South being recognized on a national scale, as far as, let's say a mainstream scale, on top 40 radio, that was definitely Cash Money, and as well as No Limit. But No Limit, it was almost looked like it was about to be on the decline at that point. I mean, well, you had The Last Time. The Last Time came out that year.
Murder was their major artists.
Major artists. But I mean, as far as, remember, because you had the Cash Money Rough Riders tour.
Yeah.
You know, that spawned off.
But you know what? No Limit was more in house.
Yeah, it was more in house.
Cash Money, where they were like able to like do deals with Rough Riders.
Yeah,
Rockefeller. You know what I mean?
And that probably was the only thing that hurt No Limit. That they kept it too much in house.
Yeah, Lil Wayne did a song with Nori.
I forgot, because he was on the Melvin Flint. Yeah, it was him, BG. Yeah.
But yeah, man. So before we wrap it up, man, we would be remiss if we didn't just pick Lorenzo's brain and just let him say some thoughts about attending the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. So go ahead, brother. Do your thing.
All right. I almost forgot about that actually, but it was a beautiful event. I mean, honestly, I didn't think I was gonna go. You know, I ran ideas by a couple people because I'm not the type of, I like to go different different events, experiences, but I'm not always one of the type to go dolo in that sense. So I remember my grandmother mentioned, like, well, I thought you were going to go to the march. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm trying to make this trip or whatever. And then, you know, part of me was like, you know, because, I mean, we knew what we knew now. I mean, back then, of course, we would conduct ourselves in a lot of different ways. But, you know, I didn't really understand the magnitude of the initial Million Man March. I mean, I'm 12 years old. I didn't really know what the whole struggle. I wouldn't say I didn't know, but it didn't really grasp. I'm still a kid, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to see what next video game coming on Sega, Sonic Knuckles, you know. But just being there and just feeling, you know, that brotherhood and you know, when you first had the initial one, you know, it was, you know, you had well over 1 million black men down there. and see how it was able to evolve not only with the men and the women, but when you had various Native American tribes coming through, and then and a lot of the Latino community coming through. I mean, it's definitely beautiful to see these brothers and build with these brothers, and understand that we might have different cultural aspects, but we're in the same boat as far as a lot of the different situations going on here, as far as the discrimination, as far as what's going on with the police brutality and everything else, and just having everybody on the same page and in harmony. It was just breathtaking in that sense. Just bumping into people and saying, "Oh, my fault," versus somebody ice really almost want to look at you like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's almost like we're here for a legitimate cause here, and to be able to experience that was definitely breathtaking. Just to see the massive crowds, and it was a good enriching event when you don't have CNN, we don't have Fox, we don't have none of these media outlets putting it on there because there's nothing negative happening. Outside of C-SPAN, you didn't see this on TV unless you were streaming it on the websites and everything. So, because my grandma was like, "Well, they should put more word out," but like, how much word can you put out if they're not allowing you to put it out?
Yeah, I think it would be great. Like, I think these events, we kind of spoke about this before, but I think these events need to transition and attract, broader ethnicities. You know what I mean?
And I think that was a step towards that.
Right, because it's not just a black thing, it's a human thing. If you're pro-black, then that means you're pro-human. So, we got to get everybody involved. You got to get white involved. You got to get Indian. Every creed, man, every culture to help support. Because, black people, if all the black people in America, were on the same page and we did the right thing, guess what? We still wouldn't produce because it's just not enough of us. We need help. Yeah. We need help. So,
and you also and you were speaking about white people. There were also white people there as well. So that was nice as well because it wasn't like a bashing of white people. It was just okay. Here's the truth of the matter. Here, this is what you people has done, but this is what can also be done. Right. And it was like okay, and you have to put it out there, and that was make some white people uncomfortable. Just because we put it out there, it's like, oh, you're trying to say white people evil, this and that. Like, what was done in the past was evil, yes. We can change this, but you have to acknowledge it. And once you acknowledge it, then we can say, okay, we can work on solutions now versus you trying to say, oh, it's in the past now. But if we don't address the past, how can you build for the future? Right. And just seeing, like I was telling Brandon earlier, before we got on the podcast, just seeing some of like even the elders of a lot of in the Native American community speak on some of their stuff, even dating back from the American Indian movements, and just hearing their insights and their vision as far as what they want to see done. Even some of how they dating back to even different tribes. Like I have Nanaco ancestry, so the Nanacos were very integral part of the Underground Railroad, helping free African slaves to get to the north, and then a lot of the tribes took the men to join the tribe and their marriages. So they also touch on the fact that there's tie lineages there, just that we need to take it back home. At this point, we've been separated. And a lot of it's through media, white supremacy. But we have to understand that we're all in the same battle together until we understand to recognize that whether it's cross cultural, cross racial, cross religion based, however you want to say it, cross gender, that we have to unify if we're going to have anything not only for ourselves but for the future generations.
Well said, sir. Well said, man. Tonight was a treat, man. This was the highlight of my week. Getting to talk about hip hop and all these good things, and checking out Odyssey later on tonight. So Armand, man, we're gonna salute. We're gonna sign off, man. Any last words you got?
No, man. I think the Eagles gonna lose on Monday night. I could tune into the sports radio stations here and like bitch and complain all week again. So I'm straight. I'm straight over here. Temple gonna win. We're gonna be 6-0. And we good. You know what I mean? So I'm straight.
All day, man.
Yeah, I guess let me say one thing. Armand's nice to talk with you, but I've been listening to some of the podcasts. BC, I think it's great. Hope you guys keep it up and keep talking that truth, man. That's all.
Respect, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, bro.
And we out of here. Peace.